and unforgettable experiences.
This is so beautiful. Whoa!
See the world differently. The Travel Show this weekend on the BBC News Channel.
Rain.
Sounds like Wimbledon. Watch it live on BBC TV and on BBC iPlayer. And for a greater choice of courts and matches, watch live across BBC Sport online.
When the weather can't decide what to do, you still can. To know what's coming, check the BBC Weather app.
Agony for England as their dreams of World Cup glory are crushed.
And tonight's other main stories on BBC News at 10. The first images have emerged from the hospital where 12 Thai boys and their football coach are being treated after their remarkable rescue from a flooded cave. At the NATO summit, President Trump criticises Germany, accusing Chancellor Merkel of being far too dependent on Russia. And at Wimbledon, another major upset as the defending men's champion Roger Federer is knocked out of this year's championship.
And coming up on Sports Day on BBC News, we'll have the latest from Russia and Wimbledon, where the world #1 Rafa Nadal is through to the semi-finals.
Good evening from Moscow, from the Luzhniki Stadium, where England's dream of World Cup glory is over. They lost 2-1 to Croatia after being forced into extra time. It had all been looking so good, with England taking the lead early on, but it wasn't to be, as Croatia equalised, dominating the second half. Gareth Southgate's men have had such an unexpected and extraordinary journey to the semi-final here in Moscow. Their confidence had allowed so many England fans to dare to believe that England could finally bring the World Cup home again for the first time in more than 50 years. Let's go straight to the stadium and our sports editor, Dan Roan. Dan. England fans no doubt have been dreaming, hoping would be played out at home tonight. It wasn't to be. More from us later on, but now back to you, Huw, in the studio.
Sophie, thank you very much. Thanks to you and to Dan there in Moscow. Well, let's have a look at some of the day's other news then, because President Trump has launched a forthright attack on Germany, accusing it of being controlled by Russia. He was speaking shortly before meeting Chancellor Merkel at the NATO summit in Brussels. Mr. Trump also repeated his claim that the EU was taking advantage of the US and stepped up his demands for NATO members to boost
dreams with them. In the end, it wasn't to be. That is all from us in Moscow. We will leave you tonight with a look back at England's journey.